You know, retiring from YouTube is a tricky thing, especially when you have a good friend and a wonderful human being design their own backpack and then ask you if you'd be willing to talk about it on your channel, even though you haven't talked about a bag in like 6 months or longer. And I, of course, am talking about the incredible person known as Aaron Radcliffe, who hosts the channel Nomads Nation. You've probably seen his reviews if you're clicking on this and you're interested in his bag. And he has a new bag and sling and packing cubes that are up for pre-order right now over on their website. I'll have a link down below for you to follow if you're interested in checking it out. And of course, when asked by the man, the myth, the legend himself, Aaron Radcliffe, if I'm gonna review his bag, I don't care how long I've been retired or how long I've been out of the game, of course I'm gonna do that. And that's what we're gonna talk about today. Let's get into it. So it has been a minute since I have used and tested any type of bag for any type of review purposes. Recently though, you can check me out. I was over on The Perfect Bag hosted by the wonderful Clint as I was a judge for his used bag beauty pageant, which was just super fun to be able to do that with those guys over there. And that was just a really great time. And you should definitely check that out because it was a really cool concept that Clint did. And he's gonna probably do it again next year. And you should enter it because it's just a wonderful time. Just a wonderful time to look at some bags that might get passed over in normal day-to-day life. But I'll tell you one bag that's not gonna get passed over, and that is the Levo from Fyro. It actually comes in 2 different sizes, a 30 liter and a 36 liter. And let me just say this right here. I personally love the 35 to 40 liter range when it comes to one bag travel backpacks. I personally think 35 liters is the lowest I can go and still fit everything I need and then some, and 40 liters is the highest I want to go because let's be honest, we don't all want to be a part of the turtle club, no matter how turtly we might be. Sometimes the bag can just be a little bit big on you depending on your frame and depending on the size of the bag. And I think that this one, coming in 2 different sizes, 36 and 30 liters, once again, offers that for just about everybody. I think 30 liters is gonna work really well for people that can pack super far down. I no longer can because I'm rusty after retiring and not traveling full time. I haven't traveled except for the trip that I took this bag on in like over a year. So I did one trip with this, and then before that it was like a year ago. So I have completely rooted myself and no longer travel full-time for work or anything like that. But with all of that being said, this is a really cool bag that offers some really cool features and functions. We're also gonna talk about the sling that's in here. We'll get to that when we get to it. And there's also some packing cubes that I'm gonna talk about in here. So with that, let's dive into the bag. Okay, first and foremost, let's get some of the specs out of the way for the specky people, the people that like to know the ins and outs and every detail on this stuff. The 30 liter empty is 2.2 pounds. It also holds up to a 16-inch laptop. The 36 liter is 2.5 pounds empty and can hold up to a 17-inch laptop. The materials on both of these bags, on the exterior is a 330D polycarbonate Codra nylon. Because we like big fancy words in the material industry. All that to be said, this is one of those bags that has the material that I've always loved, and it just kind of lets you keep it clean, wash it off, wipe it off, dirt. It's very resistant. It's got a good feel to it. One thing you will notice as we talk about this bag is how it holds its shape depending on how you pack it out. Whether you use the front pouch or the main compartment, a lot of the ways that you kind of push against the sides and the pockets of this bag will determine the shape. So it's just something you also want to keep in mind. But I am a big fan of these materials. I actually love them quite a lot. This whole bag is made from really nice materials. The internal lining is a 100D ripstop nylon in the signature Fyro copper color, which let me say, this interior is just absolutely beautiful. It does a really good job of contrasting the black bag. This is also available in green, I should say, but I really, you know, black bags are a dime a dozen, but I think that this one really does a good job of having a nice outer shell color that mixes really well with that signature copper color that they used on the interior. Big fan of that as well. These zippers, of course, are YKK because we love YKK in the bag zipper world. They do not have weather guard zips, so that's something to definitely keep in mind. On the back, we have a wonderful back channel and some wonderful shoulder straps that have nice load lifters, a nice sternum strap, easy to adjust. You've got that luggage pass-through strap if you need it. And the one thing that I think really sets this bag apart and puts it up there for ones that I've enjoyed using, not to say it's not without its flaws, because every bag has its flaws. I don't think there is such a thing as a perfect bag, although if there is, I'm sure Clint over on The Perfect Bag will find it at some point. He'll let us all know when that happens. But until then, I think that the lightness of this bag, it is 2.5 pounds empty. And even though I have this pretty much loaded out with my normal travel, not taking any camera gear kind of trip, because I don't really do that anymore, I was so pleasantly surprised with how easy it was. It was like walking on air, as close as you can get to that with like a full loaded backpack for travel. And I have this loaded out for like my max 5 to 7 day trip, though you could definitely squeeze more in the 36 liter bag if you wanted to. All that to be said, that these straps and this back channel and everything with this is very, very comfortable and sits really nicely on your back. Now, there are hip straps that connect here. I have packed mine away inside the bag just in case I need them. But a couple things about hip straps for me personally as a reviewer, as somebody who uses bags. Not something I typically use even if my bag is really heavy. I am minimal dingle dangle dongle pieces off of a bag as possible, and hip straps, when not being used, when the bag is being stored or down at my side, it's just extra flaps going around. So personally, not something that I usually like to do. I like to just keep them off even if the bag is a little heavy, but I also try not to pack a bag so heavy that I would need hip straps in the first place. So when it comes to the use of these hip straps, I have no experience with them. I didn't need them, and I didn't really want to put them on because I didn't need them. But just in case, like all hip straps that I keep with me now, I put them in the bag just to be on the safe side. So does have hip straps. I can't comment on them because honestly, this bag is just so light that if you're somebody that keeps your bags on the lighter side, you don't bring a lot of like heavy equipment or batteries or things like that, I don't think you really need to worry about them too much. Okay, let's talk about grab points on this bag, because you have a handle at the top, which is a really nice rip it and grip it overhead bin back at the Jeep, back of the bus, under the table, on the table, wherever you're putting this bag. And then you also have another one on the side here, so you can go briefcase mode when you're going through security or boarding the plane or whatever you might need. On the bottom, nothing, completely flat. There is a nice false bottom on this bag, which we'll talk about more when we get to the laptop compartment. But overall, those two straps do a really good job. And that leaves us on the other side, opposite of the strap, our one and only exterior nylon stretchy compartment. Now, I, of course, am gonna put a water bottle there with War Turtle on it because Squirtle is the best starter. Fight me in the comments, I dare you. Which makes it really nice. So if you're also not using this and you're not bringing a water bottle, a very big elastic compartment that allows, or pocket that allows you to bring things like maybe a bigger tripod or, you know, whatever other bulkier items you'd want to put on the side of your bag. You could easily probably get like a lightweight jacket and roll it up tight and put it in here too if you wanted. So with that, we can start going through all of these wonderful pockets. Starting at the back, the backpack, you have a larger, I don't know why I spun it this way around, you have a larger compartment that can be used for passport, boarding passes, things that you want to keep safe in travel, in transit. I did not utilize this. I did bring my passport with me, but I'll show you where I put it. I put it somewhere a little different. So has one of those security pockets that we all know and love, a little bit bigger, which I really appreciate, because a lot of times these security pockets will be like the freaking size of your passport, and I'm not about to scrape my hand up on a zipper trying to get my passport in and out of a tight compartment, whereas this one actually has some ability to move. It's a little bit bigger. Even if only you put your passport in here, the fact that the pocket itself is actually bigger than your passport, A+ there. The first actual pocket on this bag is what would be your laptop compartment. Now, I like this compartment for a couple reasons. One, you have a zipper towards the front of the pocket that allows you to use that if you leave it unzipped as a quick access, which is where I put my sunglasses. I really like that because there is no quick access or security dump pocket on this bag. I like to just leave this one unzipped up at the top, and then it can become my security dump and my sunglass quick access compartment, because honestly there's no extra work. It's still just one zipper, only I can use this compartment for a couple other things, because below that there's like a little shelf where you can put tech gear, computer chargers, things like that. It's where I put my headphones. I always bring 2 pairs with me, so I put one up there just to have it ready to go when I'm done with security or going through security or whatever it might be. And then of course you have your laptop compartment. Now, once again, on the 30 liter, it's a 16-inch laptop. On the 36, it's a 17-inch. I just have a little baby MacBook Pro. Not an issue at all to put that in there. Just put that off screen. I don't have a studio anymore, so what you're seeing is my D&D setup. That's where I play D&D, because I'm a nerd. I'm a giant nerd. False bottom. Told you I was going to talk about that. Like a wonderful false bottom. I'm not worried at all about the protection of my stuff in here. False bottom is great. Laptop is well compensated. It's well compensated on its travel by getting a lot of comfort and security. Overall, just a really nice, big, beefy laptop compartment. Another thing I like to see is when the laptop compartment isn't the size of the laptop. I really like it. I also am not a big fan of the side entrance laptops. I feel like those can put a lot of stuff on the back panel, whereas this one, there's enough space between where the laptop ends and where the back panel starts that you actually get the comfort of the back panel without it feeling like your laptop pushed up against your back panel. So I also really enjoyed that. Before we jump into the main compartment, I want to talk about this front compartment that has this like half zip. You can see that beautiful copper interior once again that just shines. Now, this is the compartment that has a little bit of built-in organization if you wanted to utilize it as like a tech sleeve or anything like that. I, however, have never really, in all the times that I've reviewed bags and used bags and tested different ones, I've never been one to utilize interior organization. I prefer my pouches and my packing cubes and things like that. So though there are some pockets in here, not anything that I really dabbled with or tried. In the top up here, what I did is my planner. This is what I take to take notes, plan my day out, things like that. I bring it with me everywhere. So you've got a nice little top compartment here that you could put another pouch or pocket or larger travel items. But actually on the bottom here, what I put is their sling. This actually comes in a 1 liter and a 3 liter. We'll talk about this at the end and what I have in here. But this is basically my tech pouch in a lot of ways, and where I'm putting a lot of the gear that I would need either in transit or not, because depending on what airline I'm flying or how I'm traveling, after I'm through security, I might rip this bad boy out and throw it across my body as I'm carrying this, and it's just right there in this nice deep pocket. Now, you do have some other organization in here that I can't really show you. There's a Velcro little pocket down there for some extra security. All solid looking interior organization, just not something that, once again, I really use. The one thing about this pocket too is the dimension. When I have that sling, it kind of does one of those where it's kind of like a little baby bump. And yeah, so like with the dimension on this, you just want to be careful not to push out too much because there is a little bit of that. But honestly, I think just putting something down towards the bottom and something up towards the top, you're fine. Which brings us to the main compartment, which opens clamshell style, just like this, and you get all kinds of wonderful goodies on the inside. So what I want to start with is actually the organization on the panel itself. There are two, count them, two organization pockets on the inside of this bag. One has a little bit more of that meshy stretch that we get kind of on a lot of Bellroy bags will utilize this kind of meshy stretch, if you will. Didn't put anything in there. And then this bottom one is more of that nylon liner. And this is where I put the hip straps for the bag. Again, not organization kind of use is something that I don't really use the organization, is what I'm trying to say. Which brings us to the organization that I did in this bag, because we got Fyro's wonderful packing cubes. For one, their compression, which I love. For two, they come in a set of 3. So you get this nice like medium one, and then you get 2 of these smaller ones. For me personally, I only needed one small one and this like medium or larger packing cube. All my clothes between these two, I'm good. I don't have to worry. Got my pants, got my shirts, got socks, got underwear. I got everything I need. What else I put in here though is an extra tech kit for extra tech gear, just to be safe. Extra chargers, you know, extra like Dramamine, ibuprofen, Tums, things like that, just in case. And also just like extra batteries and chargers that I might not have in my sling, or I might need duplicate. I always like to be prepared. You never know. And then I also, as always, am using the wonderful Gravel Slim toiletry bag. It's my go-to. It's been my go-to for years. It's wonderful. And then the last thing I have in here is a travel fleece lined puffy jacket, because it was a little bit chilly where I was going. This one is specifically from Relwyn. I absolutely love this. Very expensive jackets. I had a gift card to Huckberry, so it was like half off, but this is like a $300 jacket. When did jackets get so expensive? When did everything get so expensive? I know when. Don't answer that question. So yeah, nice interior, nice big bag, nice lot of space. You can actually see kind of in here where that laptop goes in the back. You can also see where that shelf is, but luckily those dimensions don't really cut into the main compartment on this bag, so that's really nice. You get a couple different options when it comes to organization, whether you want to use packing cubes, which all of Fyro's, I will say, fit in here really nicely, but again, I only needed 2, so if you need 3, boom, you got 3, and you still have room in this front compartment to put extra tech gear and even your toiletry kit if you wanted to. If you go a little bit lighter with your toiletries, you can easily fit all of that in this front compartment. There's a couple different ways you can really utilize this, whether you're using the internal pockets or not. I feel like you can fit quite a bit in this 36-liter bag, not to mention the fact that it's light, very comfortable, and made from just really nice materials. And that brings us to the sling. This comes in a 1 liter and a 3 liter size. 3 liter can fit up to an iPad mini. I don't have any tablets. I never was a tablet kid and I'm not very good with tablets. I prefer a laptop. So I don't really do that kind of stuff with tablets, but it's cool that the bigger sling can fit a smaller tablet. This one, however, is the perfect size for that carry-on, that EDC that you need when you get to where you're going, whether you're using it as a fanny pack or you're rocking it as a sling. In the front compartment, you just basically have a dump pouch, your quick access. This is where I put an extra set of headphones and then all of my Snicker snacks, because if I don't have Snicker snacks, I will be very grumpy and turn into Betty White on a football field. The main compartment on this has some pretty nice organization. You have an ability to do a pass-through where you can leave a charger in the main compartment and have your phone be plugged in on the front. Not something I ever really dabble with, but always a nice option to have it if you need. You have on one side 2 nice mesh organizers where I've put my brick for my MacBook Pro, and then this little capsule is a spot to put like a small travel pin, something like that. Across from that is another mesh, same size, where I've put my fast charger for my iPhone equipment with its brick, and then behind that is just another nice little flat compartment where I've put my main hard drive that I work off of for pretty much everything. Across from all that organization, you actually have a zipper with a little bit of a mesh, kind of that same mesh you had on the interior of the main bag, little compartment, and that's where I've put a spare USB-C Type-C charger, because all of them are all over the place, and then also the cable for my MacBook Pro charger. Then, to round out this sling, you also have a flat back compartment, and this is actually where I put my passport, because I like to have it here because it's double secured. Not to say that those back compartments, those back sleeves that people use aren't, but this is in the back sleeve of my sling, which is either on me or in my bag. So just give me a little extra protection. Also, I don't really need my passport, but I bring it with me just to be safe. You never know. And on top of that, that's about it for the sling. They have the sling itself, the strap has these alligator clips where you can disconnect it if you want. It's not padded, easy to adjust, and honestly, just a nice sling, nice addition to this travel loadout that I got my hands on from Fyro. The one thing that I would say that I wish this bag offered was an actual quick access security dump compartment on the top. Yes, I'm able to utilize that pocket as one for myself, but that's because all of my tech gear is in pouches or in the sling that I already have in the bag. But if you were using this and you wanted all of your computer gear in that top compartment, which is kind of what it's designed for, then you're using that space for your chargers and your hard drives and any kind of laptop accessories you might have, then you really don't have a quick access spot for things like keys, your sunglasses, headphones. Maybe you want to throw your phone in there when you're going through security. So I do kind of wish there was something like that on this bag, though I don't think that breaks it and doesn't make it usable at all. It's just something that I personally wish was included. But other than that, I have nothing but positive things to say about this bag. It is actually really nice to see a bag and feel that it was created by someone who understands the fundamentals of not only packing and traveling, but what makes a backpack really stand out, what makes a travel bag something more than just a number on a shelf that you see and go, well, why would I spend $300 for this when I can go get this for 40. I think this bag is another great example of what you get when you actually spend a little bit more money on a nice travel bag. You're gonna get the longevity, you're gonna get comfort, and you're gonna get something that you can't get when you go to Walmart or Target and buy a JanSport or a generic knockoff or that $40 one on Amazon that looks really enticing. And I've done videos on the ones from Amazon in the past where they just don't last as long. And maybe they lasted long for a couple people, but across the board, they're not meant to last. They're meant to break after a certain amount of time so you come back and buy more. Whereas something like this, you invest $250, $300, $350 in that range, you're gonna have a bag that you can use on multiple trips and you don't have to worry. And that's what I think makes this one really stand out to me, is that it offers all of that and it's built and made with the thought in mind of what you need on your trips. And it's just really nice to see a bag designed by somebody who understands how to design a bag, because they understand bags. It's a weird thing, but hey, everybody's got their thing and bags just happen to be ours, and they're awesome. And I think they're cool and I love them. And sometimes I miss doing this. But in the meantime, if I ever do decide to return full time, you can check me out on my other channel, Magnum Nopus, where I talk about movies that are so bad they're good, or maybe they're so bad they're just bad. But to round out this wonderful video for Aaron Radcliffe and the team over at Nomads Nation and Fyro and this wonderful bag that they have, I have a link down below that is a link that does support this channel. I greatly appreciate it. It's available for pre-order right now. Get your hands on it. It's awesome, great across the board. Aaron, wonderful job. Thank you so much for sending this to me. I really had a good time using this, and I look forward to seeing you guys either around on this channel in the future or over on Magnum Nopus. But until then, I'll see you later.